Nick's Spikes.
Hello, my name is Stéphane Delanson, aka Dr. Bass, and today we are in the nice city of Quebec. And as you can see, I'm with that beautiful Nick's bike, and we'll do today the advanced walkthrough of the Adaptto controller. Okay, with that controller, you can customize 3 different profiles. This profile will correspond to the desired performance and maximum power that we'll have on the controller. So to set and have access to these different customizing of that profile, you'll just go to the main menu, select the second option, which is called Power Mode Profile. And then you will see the Eco, Normal, and Boost mode. The Eco mode is really important because it will have been set previously by Nick's to the maximum power and maximum speed accordingly to the regulation in your local area in your country. So this mode have different value. But before explaining all these values, I will just skip to the normal mode and the boost mode because those have just a little bit variation from the kind of setting that you will have in the Eco. The normal mode is a kind of a trade-off. This is a really high performance mode, except that it's not the maximum value that you can set in this mode. The maximum value is in the boost mode. And also the boost mode is also the only mode that you will have the overspeed, kind of a OVS setting that you have previously adjusted. This is the little extra speed that you have, about 30% more speed. So this is only in the boost mode. Okay, so it's important to understand all the value that you see in each of these modes. The first value is the battery current. This is the maximum current that will flow from the battery to the controller. And then the phase current. Phase current is exactly the kind of torque that you will have. This is the value that sets the torque that you will feel, the torque that the motor will get. Okay? The battery current, just above the previous value, is the value that will set the maximum power, not the maximum torque, but the maximum power. Usually, to reach really high speed, you need maximum power, so you need battery current really high, and also the phase current really high. Both of these values need to be high to reach the maximum power. And then you have the IPR. This is the regen power. So when you apply the brake, what it will do, your motor will enter into the regen mode, and it will get the current from the motor back to the battery. And it will be like a kind of a compression on the gas engine. Okay, so the higher the number, the higher the regen braking will be. Just be careful. Do not set those values too high. Usually, I will say for that setup, using that kind of battery and that motor, I will recommend not higher than 150. Otherwise, you might just block the wheel and lose control of the bike. And then you have the maximum speed. Maximum speed is, I will say, the desired maximum speed to not reach, or the maximum speed at which you will be able to go. But it will depend also the state of the battery, the slope that you are at. It will also depend on the environment condition that you have when you drive your bike. And then the last parameter, it's interesting, but you can, mostly you will set it to null value. Let me explain. The Eco mode, you can set it to a little value, I will say like 10 or 15 or 20. But for the normal mode and the boost mode, just go to the lower value as possible. So past 1 or 0, it will display just a horizontal little bar. This means that there's no limit, in fact. So this is the acceleration, the kind of rate at which the bike will accelerate. So if you select no number, just like the horizontal bar, it will have no limit, full acceleration. And in the case of the Eco mode, I suggest entering probably 10 to 15. So that's all for the power profile setting. Now for the advanced user. That controller is really impressive. There's a lot of very fine-tuned setting that you can do, and you will all appreciate. Let me explain those settings. The first one is the angle core. The angle core is actually the correction of angle between the three Hall sensors that are in the stator of the motor. Normally, on the factory, you will assume that all these three Hall sensors are perfectly aligned and perfectly spaced. However, this is not the case. There's some really a small error between the placement of these Hall sensors between each other. That parameter is the angle correction. That will be the angle correction between the average position of the three Hall sensor and the perfect timing of the motor. So you can play and get a little more efficiency with these parameters. Now, the IND timing. The IND timing is the delay between the controller current that is sent to the stator and the moment where the Hall sensor detect a new position. So this is interesting because you can compensate for the delay of all the electronics inside the controller. So this will give you higher performance and also have the motor that heat less and also higher power too. And now the power timing. This is my favorite because the power timing is also the parameter that will allow you extra torque at high speed. Okay, so when you ride, let's say, half of your maximum speed and you crank the throttle, the maximum torque that you will have will be set in part by that value. So you will have to play with that value while you ride your bike and accelerate at about the medium speed from your maximum speed, and you will explore all these values until you reach the maximum acceleration when you crank the throttle at about half of your maximum speed. So this is interesting because this will make you smile with all that power amount that your controller can deliver to the motor. Now time for the last adjustment. This is my favorite. This is the overspeed adjustment. This is in fact the adjustment that will give you about 20 to 30% extra speed. Okay, so it's called also kind of a lead angle or flux weakening in some advanced controller from. You will set an angle in that controller. I will show you. It's a kind of overspeed right here, and you will set the degree angle, which is a lead angle between. This is the angle that is representing the moment where the controller will send the current to the stator, and the moment where the magnet goes right on the top of each of the stator tube. So you can play with the timing angle between those, and this will just change the kV of the motor, which means it will change also the maximum speed that a motor can do for the same voltage. In the case of the NIX battery pack, an acceptable voltage difference between the highest cell and the lowest cell will be about 50 millivolts. If you have higher than that, it means that your pack is just unbalanced. If it's within that value or close to zero, it will be better. But 50 millivolts is about what is most acceptable for the voltage imbalance.